When I got divorced at 35, I believed I was doing everything I was supposed to. I was loyal. I was doing the things I thought I was supposed to do. I assumed being a good husband meant keeping the peace, providing, sacrificing my needs. So when she left, I not only lost my marriage, but I also lost my identity. If I wasn't a good husband, if I wasn't worthy of her love, then what good was I? Who was I supposed to be? And these questions kept me up several nights, but over time, through reading, through reflection, I started to realize that this was not the final version of me. I could become better, I could improve, I could move on. So in this video, I want to give you 3 mindsets that completely shifted how I saw myself and helped me to start becoming the man I was meant to be. If you resonate with this content, like and subscribe and leave a comment. Number 1, no one is coming to save you. Even before my marriage ended, I had a pattern of just half showing up. This was reflected in basically my entire childhood. I never tried that hard in school. I always just did enough to just get by. This took place in the military where I would skip PT and just do enough at my job to not really be noticed. And then throughout my career as a software developer, I would do just enough to make it look like I was busy, like I knew what I was doing. And then when it got too difficult, rather than problem solving or figuring it out for myself, I would rely on other people. And when my wife left, I was doing the same pattern. I was just waiting, hoping that someone would come and save me. She would either come back or somebody would come and magically just solve my problems, make my pain go away. And it was after I started reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson that my mindset started to shift a little bit. In it, he says, "You and you alone are responsible for how you feel, what you do, and what you become." And as I'm sitting there, for weeks, just in my head, wondering who I've become, am I worthy of love again? My wife just left me. I'm sitting there thinking this stuff. And then I read this quote and I start to realize that I am in control of what I become. I am in control of the actions that I take. I can sit here and worry what she's doing or reflect on the bad things that the marriage had or things I could have done to improve. Or I could start taking steps to really move in a direction that I want to. I can start to figure out, what do I actually want in life? My wife is not coming back. It's over. She said she doesn't want me anymore. So I need to start taking steps in the right direction. So this is where this identity shift of no one's coming to save you really started to kick in. And I started to realize that it is up to me. I also read books from like Tony Robbins. He's got a quote. I don't know it exactly, but he says, 60% of the people don't care about your problems. The other 40% are glad that they're your problems. So me just complaining about getting divorced isn't really getting me anywhere. Not taking action, just moping around is not helping me in any way. So I started taking these small steps, learning to socialize a little bit, making my bed. And then once I came across David Goggins, it really just ratcheted up a notch because he believes in personal responsibility. He does not believe anyone's coming to save you. It is on you. You have to perform. You have to be your best. Your emotions might tell you one thing. They might tell you to stay at home and be sad. And if that's what it takes, that's what you have to do. But you don't have to listen to your emotions. You can listen to them and then do the exact opposite. Many times I don't want to wake up and go for a run in the morning, but I just get up and do it because I said I would. It doesn't matter how I feel. You just got to do it. So this is the first mindset shift that really got me started on becoming a totally different version of myself, realizing that no one's coming to save me. It is up to me. I'm in control of my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. And so I started to exercise. I started to go to the gym. I started to talk to people at trivia nights. I started to talk to people at volleyball. And I started to take actions to move out of my town. So mindset number 1 is nobody's coming to save you. Mindset number 2, growth begins where comfort ends. This is one of the hardest mindsets for me to really grasp and to start implementing because growing up, I was never pushing my comfort zone. I didn't try to push myself socially. I didn't try to push myself academically or with my knowledge. I didn't try very hard. I didn't try At my jobs, I didn't try to become, a good employee because I didn't ever feel like I could be. It was very easy to just stay stagnant, stay in my comfort zone, never have to experience rejection or failure. I never wanted to be looked at as unworthy or not good enough. So I didn't want to fail in front of other people. I didn't want to fail to myself. I was very much a perfectionist. So when I read Tony Robbins say, all growth starts at the end of your comfort zone, and if you're not growing, you're dying, I kind of started to realize that he was right, that I have not ever pushed myself, and if I'm going to become a new man, I can't be the same person that I am after the divorce. I can't still be overweight. I can't still be socially awkward. I can't still be in the small town in Wisconsin. If I'm not pushing myself out of my comfort zone, I am going to stay in the same situation. I'm never going to be the guy I want to be or that I could envision. So I knew that no one was coming to save me, and if I'm going to be the man that I can envision, then I have to start pushing my comfort zone. And it was very scary, which is why it was so hard for me to adapt that at first. Because when you're a guy who can't really socialize, you're afraid to talk to anybody, you definitely don't feel like you can fit in. Like, it's hard to go out and just start talking to people at a bar, or just going up and asking a random group of strangers, hey, can I join your trivia team? But then as you do it, you start to realize that it's not that big of a deal. People are nice, people are friendly. I don't have to be perfect. And then you start to realize what else is possible. I mean, this goes to, like, it's just a random example, but like karaoke. The first time I ever did karaoke in Boston, I thought it was super scary. I never thought I could do it, so I got super drunk. And then I did it once and realized, okay, it's not so bad. I pushed my comfort zone and I started to grow. And then, eventually, like now I can just go to karaoke, sing. I don't have to be drinking, completely sober. It's fine because I've pushed my comfort zone so much with that one thing that it doesn't bother me anymore. That's how I've grown. So once I read that Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, good stuff in that book. But yeah, he talks about, if you're not growing, you're dying, and you're never going to become the man you can be if you're not going to push your comfort zone. So that's when I started to do, I talked to girls at the grocery store, talked to girls at the bar, wherever. Before I could never do that, but as you start to push your comfort zone, you realize what's possible. So are there things in your life now that if you started to push your comfort zone a little bit, your life would become better? And is it worth taking those steps? You don't have to take massive steps. You can take small steps to start implementing that. The third mindset shift is identity is built through daily action. This was a huge mindset shift for me because up until this point, when I'm moping around, I'm not forming any sort of routine. I'm not really doing anything different. I'm just coasting, drifting and going to work, coming home, wondering what she's doing, just in my head, wondering who the man I'm becoming. And it was once I started realizing that, you don't have to take massive steps to start to improve yourself. It's just one step at a time. You're trying to build these habits daily, ideally. That's why you start with just like easy things, making your bed, maybe a cold shower in the morning, read 5 pages, meditate, whatever's going to help you just start to develop. And you just start with something small. And I got this from Jordan Peterson, and I got this from Atomic Habits. In the book, he says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So when I read that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Every time I make my bed, it's a vote for the person I want to become. I want to become more disciplined. I want my room to look nice. Every time I write down in my journal how I'm feeling, how I'm thinking, that's a vote for me wanting to improve myself, to get my thoughts out, to be reflective. Every time I go to the gym, I'm the kind of person that votes for being healthy, for taking care of his body, for taking care of his mind. And it just started really getting me on the path of wanting to improve as much as I could. It started very easily. Make my bed, drink apple cider vinegar, take a cold shower, meditate for 5 minutes. Now I do that very consistently. I don't even think about it. That's just part of my morning routine. And, when you're thinking about what kind of man you want to become, for instance, when I was doing cold approach and I go talk to girls out on the street, every time I did that, I started to become the man who is social. He's not afraid to go for what he wants. He's not afraid to talk to somebody if he thinks that they're attractive or if he just wants to get to know them. And it really started to build me into a new version. I started to change my identity. I was no longer the guy who drifted, who didn't have any purpose, who was just waiting for people to save him, didn't want to grow. Just taking these small actions was a vote for me becoming that guy that I could envision. So mindset number 3, identity is built through daily action. So highly recommend you form some morning routines. Ideally, you have something just very simple. You want to just make it so that you don't stress about it. It's easy enough to do. So if it's make your bed before you go to work, brush your teeth, put on some moisturizer. I definitely recommend moisturizer if you're divorced or just getting older, 35 plus. Like, I want to look as young and as attractive as possible. So that's what I do. Moisturizer every morning. But yeah, just find things that are going to help you become the man you want to become. These actions are a vote for the guy you want to become. Those are 3 mindsets that helped me, not only while I was going through divorce, but even still. I realized that no one's coming to save me. It is up to me to take the actions that I need to become the man I want to be, to get the life that I want. I'm going to have to push my comfort zone, and I'm going to have to start taking daily actions that are a vote towards the man I want to become. If I want to become social and charismatic, I'm going to have to talk to people. I'm going to have to put myself in uncomfortable situations that I haven't been in to learn and to grow. So hopefully that's resonated with you. If you're looking for any help kind of defining where you want your life to go, what you're looking for, I'll put in the description a free workbook. It'll go over where you're at now, what your ideal life would look like, and then what you could see your life looking like in 90 days if you were taking the right actions. This is a great step to just building awareness of where you are and where you want to go so that you can start heading in that direction. Because I know for me, if you're like me, when I was going through divorce, I was just drifting. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know where I wanted to go. And it wasn't until I started these 3 mindset shifts and identifying what was possible that I started to really start to take the right actions. So that's in the comments or in the description. So check that out. If this has resonated with you, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.